Russell Westbrook set the triple-double record for all time and
the best point guard ever, the triple-double king. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bucket Central. Russell Westbrook just broke the record for the most NBA triple-doubles in a career, surpassing the great Oscar Robertson and leading the Wizards to an unlikely playoff spot. Oscar Robertson's NBA record of 181 triple-doubles has stood since 1974 and was once thought to be untouchable, until Russell Westbrook surpassing it became inevitable. Westbrook got it done on Monday night, hardly a surprise given that he's averaging a triple-double this season, and this was his 36th, including 7 in his last 8 games. The record, which many in the NBA world swore would never be broken, we're looking at you, LeBron, has opened many eyes, and Russell Westbrook is being looked at totally differently. Today, we are going to be talking about the new triple-double king, Russell Westbrook, and whether he warrants a discussion as the best point guard ever. Make sure you stay until the end as we delve into deep comparison between Russell Westbrook's body of work against Magic Johnson, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, and other great point guards. The moment it happened. Russell Westbrook jumped up for an uncontested defense rebound with 8:30 remaining against the Atlanta Hawks on Monday the 10th of May and leaped past Oscar Robertson in the history books to become the NBA's triple-double king. That simple rebound in the fourth quarter of the Wizards' 125-124 loss at Atlanta completed a history-making triple-double that snapped a record many thought was previously unattainable and had stood since Robertson recorded his 181st triple-double on March 24, 1974. Robertson had been the all-time leader in the category since he took the lead during the 1961-62 season. In typical Westbrook fashion, he then missed a potential game-winning three at the end that would have given the historic night a storybook ending. The 6-foot three-point guard with the relentless motor fueled by doubters and critics now has done something no one has ever done. Westbrook, 32, is all alone at the top of this statistical category, and his triple-double assault is far from running out of gas. You might be wondering why everybody is making such a big deal out of this record. Keep watching. Why is the triple-double record so important? The NBA world celebrated Westbrook's triple-double greatness because milestones like this just don't change hands often. The last time an NBA all-time record was broken was when Ray Allen passed Reggie Miller on the all-time list for three-pointers made in 2011. That was a decade ago. Only 2 men have ever recorded 180 or more triple-doubles. The legendary Magic Johnson never got past 138. Jason Kidd retired at 107, and LeBron James is the next active player with the most triple-doubles, only at 99. This record is rare because it involves a lot of work at both sides of the floor. A player must score a tee, a high clip, set up teammates with a bunch of winning dimes, and fight for rebounds with bigger and taller guys. It's truly an all-around record and not for your average skinny guard who can do nothing else in an NBA game but score. It is no wonder that Russell Westbrook breaking such a storied record has some folks in the NBA world asking, is Russell Westbrook the best point guard of all time? Well, let us first point out that the answer is complicated. Let us then get the obvious accolade out of the way. Russell Westbrook is definitely the most athletic point guard we have ever seen. Sorry, Derrick Rose. It is what it is. Let us first hear what the Wizards head coach Scott Brooks had to say about Russ. Quote, I used to always say he's going to probably go down as the third best point guard ever, but I think he's past one and he's going to go down probably as the second best. One is obviously Magic Johnson. What he does, there's no point guard that has ever done it. Nobody, Brooks said. It seems even his own coach doesn't think he's the best point guard ever, but comes second to the legendary Magic Johnson. But that's still a huge accolade. His coach is literally saying Russ is the best modern-day point guard. Do you agree? Let us know in the comment section. What do the critics say? Westbrook has a ton of critics. For one, he is a very inefficient shooter who averages a career 43.8% from the field and 30.5% from three. A player like Westbrook gets his points on a ton of shots, and he's a very streaky shooter. There are also doubts about Westbrook's ability to help his team win games, and his only finals appearance came in 2012 when he was Kevin Durant's sidekick. Westbrook has played with some great players like James Harden and Paul George, but has failed to make it back to the finals. And obviously, many feel that Westbrook is a stat patter who uses his gifted athleticism to manipulate his stat sheet. While these criticisms are harsh, it stems from the fact that Westbrook hasn't played for a winner in a very long time, despite being a legendary player. Matter of fact, some people argue he is the major reason OKC was unable to get past the Jazz and the Blazers in the playoffs. In particular, when he claimed he was going to lock down Jazz point guard Rubio, only to have rookie Donovan Mitchell outplay him. In the Blazers matchup, he made the rock-a-baby gesture to Dame Lillard, only to have Dame send him home with a screamer of a buzzer beater. So, the man has his low points, and some of the numbers really don't back up the narrative of him being the best point guard ever. But what are his accomplishments? Let's dive right in. Westbrook's accomplishments. His double-triple ability and incredible athleticism make him one of the best individuals to have ever played basketball. He is by far the most exploitive and athletic point guard ever. He's a former league MVP and a two-time scoring champion. The case for best point guard ever. 1. Russell is a true point guard. Regardless of what anyone thinks, Westbrook is purely a point guard. He's always been listed as a point guard. That said, a point guard's responsibility is to initiate the offense and set up his teammates. Though Westbrook has often taken upon himself to be a team's entire offense, look no further than his subpar shooting performances, there is no doubt that he can find his teammates with the best of them. In the last 6 years, Westbrook has averaged double-digit assist numbers in 5 of them, with the lone exception being 2019-20, when James Harden was the guard leader for the Houston Rockets. For his career, Westbrook is averaging 8.5 assists per game, currently third behind Chris Paul with 9.4 and John Wall with 9.1 for the most among current players. The greatest case for Russ being better than his counterparts is his position. Nobody would say LeBron James is a point guard, even if he plays the point all the time. Most would call him a point forward, maybe. Steph Curry and Damian Lillard are also not your typical point guards. They do not shoulder the responsibility of finding their teammates the best looks, and their assist numbers betray them. They are more of shooting point guards. The only person who can hold a candle to Russell Westbrook in this category is the legendary Magic and Chris Paul. Keep on watching to see in which category Russ completely destroys Chris Paul. Points galore. There's no doubt Westbrook can put the ball in the hole. His career 23.2 points per game average is a point guard and 4th all-time, behind Oscar Robertson's 25.7, Damian Lillard's 24.5, and Steph Curry's 24.1. Russell can get points just as good as any of the top PGs in the league. While he may not be as good a shooter as some of the other point guards, they are also not the athlete Russell is. Rebounding and defense. Most point guards are not great defenders. They get guarded by the other team's best defender, but they don't guard the other team's best player. Not so with Russell Westbrook. He plays both sides of the floor. Going strictly by the eye test, Westbrook may not seem fully interested in playing defense. However, advanced analytics tell a different story. Based on defensive win shares, DWS, essentially how many wins a player contributes to defense, Westbrook's 2.7 DWS this year is second among all pure point guards, trailing only Ben Simmons, who is the NBA's best defensive player conversation. Regarding his rebounding, it's simply on another level. There are no other players relatively close to his size that average anything near his rebounding totals. It's highly unlikely he ever catches up to Jason Kidd's 75.1 DWS, the most among all point guards, or even gets mentioned in the same sentence as Gary Payton when it comes to all-time best defensive point guards. Nonetheless, Westbrook is currently the second best defensive guard in the league. He does not take time off from the defensive end as most point guards, and there is no reason for the coach to try and hide him when his team needs a defensive stop. Summary. Comparatively speaking, Westbrook doesn't distribute the ball or hold on to the ball as well as Johnson or Paul, and isn't a good shooter as Curry, Lillard, Stockton, Nash, or Paul. On the other hand, his defense is better and his rebounding is otherworldly. Westbrook is just doing things that no other point guard has ever done before, and it's a testament to him that, with at least 3 good years left, he's being talked about as a top point guard of all time. What is obvious is that Westbrook has an MVP award and Chris Paul doesn't, and he plays both sides of the floor and Curry doesn't. As for the great Michael Johnson, it's hard to compare two players who played in different eras. Russell Westbrook should definitely be in the best point guards of all time's conversation. There are no point guards who can do the things that Westbrook does, but there's a reason for that. Westbrook is his own sort of player, and there are many things that most point guards are asked to do that Westbrook doesn't. The only thing he shares in common with most great point guards is that he is roughly their size and he controls the ball on most possessions. Otherwise, he brings so much to the table than any other point guard, but also takes from the table than any other of the top guards. What do you think of Russell Westbrook? Where does he stand right now in the best point guards ladder? Let us know in the comments. Are you enjoying our videos? Go ahead and click one of these 2 videos on your screen. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like.